Junk warrior, end this!
Hello! I've been waiting for Yummies to come out for so long. Um, they actually got leaked back in I think February of last year, and I've been waiting for them ever since then. I was going to get the physical version of them, but it was kind of expensive at the time. Although I think they did drop. I think they should be relatively inexpensive now, so maybe I'll get my hands on them. But anyway, okay, there's actually three decks I want to show you. And for full transparency, I did not make the first deck. I will post the YouTube link into the description so that you could support the actual original creator of the deck. As far as I know, they were the original ones. This deck is very powerful. This deck is very awesome. I did make a few modifications that the original deck didn't have. So if if you want to go for a more meta build, I would suggest you take a look at the description below and copy their deck, if anything. Especially because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how I feel about this continuous spell card. Like, more often than not, it's not even that useful. It's just like a bonus search in case you open your hand with uh where is it? With the quick play spell. Because you know Cupsy could search for the quick play spell. But other than that, it's it's not even necessary. It kind of breaks your hand if anything, so I am considering taking it out of the deck. The only time it's really useful is like if you set up first and then you want to link during your opponent's turn. But even then, I wouldn't say it's really worth it. Especially because uh, Yummy could already interrupt so much. So I think having swapping this out for a hand trap, just in case you have to go second, or for a board breaker, would be even better. Like if honestly, I should probably swap this out for Raigeki. Um, I'll do that right now. Or wait, Lightning Storm. So I have the ability to wipe out back row as well. Um, if you want to know a deep analysis of the deck, the YouTuber from the link below could give you a heavily in-depth guide into how to properly use it. Um, but that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today, because yes, it is strong, but one thing I'm not the biggest fan of like controlling my opponent and just like letting them do nothing. I'm more the type of person who prefers to break boards, and it's kind of like a puzzle, like trying to figure out ways to, uh, I guess, mess up your opponent after they already set up and they feel like they have an unstoppable board, and you have to find a way to destroy it. That being said, of course, I have Maxi. It's the most broken card in the game. Absolutely disgusting. Joan Lockbird, which is also a disgusting card, and I feel like it should be banned. But anyway, that's a discussion for another time. What I wanted to show you guys was a second deck I was working on. And keep in mind, I spent hours working on this. I went through so many cards, looking for so many possible combinations to create this abomination. And surprisingly, it works pretty decently, but it is very clunky. So if you get interrupted twice, you probably won't have much to follow up with. So I don't recommend it. Also, because of how tight the extra deck is for the combos to work in the first place, there's only room for one Yummy Snatchy in the first place. For that reason, it's really not recommended, because if your opponent finds a way to get rid of Yummy Snatchy or stop your combos in the first place, you don't really have much to fall back on. But I think you can see the main synergy between these cards is you do your full Yummy combo line, especially if you're going second. I wanted to give Yummy like like a way to overpower the opponent, not just interrupt them. Which is why I added Junk Warrior Extreme. If you summon him last, you're able to revive all the yummies that you had in their graveyard, bring them back, and then he attacks an enemy, swaps out, tags out for Junk Warrior, who gets a boost based off of all the level 2 or lower, which literally every yummy is level 2 or lower, except for the Link, of course. But preferably you don't revive the Link. Keep in mind, this guy has no limit, so the limit is your board. As long as you have 5 spaces open, you can revive all 5 yummies. So you revive all of them, and then if you have this spell on the field, they boost each other by 500 each. So 500 times 5 is 2500 boosts from each one. So yeah, your Junk Warrior's gonna hit like a brick. One thing I did notice about this deck, obviously it's really clunky, it's 60 cards, it's not ideal. And the extra deck is really, really tight. So for that reason, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it is fun just to... It is fun to use, because it's like a whole bunch of random nonsense that somehow works together. But if you want a combination of the first deck and the second deck, then I present to you Yummy OTK. You use 3 Upstart Goblins for consistency, but also because if you're going for the OTK with Junk Warrior, you don't have to worry about giving them an extra 3,000 life points. Your Junk Warrior is gonna be so strong that it's gonna probably kill them twice over. So 3,000 extra life points is not a big deal. And it still has what makes the first deck good, which is the capability of shutting down your opponent turn 1. So if you go turn 1, you've seen the board. You end up with Sprite Elf to protect your Herald and your Thunder Dragon Colossus, and you have Borreload Savage for an Omni Negate, as well as one of the yummy ways to tag out whenever your opponent uses any ability. So it's really strong. It still keeps that in the deck. The thing is that now you have a lot of power to go second. So what I mean by that is, since you're going for OTK, you're not really aiming to go for turn 3. If you're not aiming to let them rebuild their board, basically, if you're going second. So you do your typical Yummy combo, which is very consistent on its own. So it's gonna bait out a lot of negates, and it's fine if you don't get a board full of yummies. That's fine, because you don't really care if your board at the end of your turn has a bunch of yummies or not. You only care to bring out Junk Warrior Extreme. Once you get him out, it's over. Even if you only have 3 yummies, that's still enough to OTK, especially if you draw into Scrap Fist. But yeah, if you're able to revive 3 yummies and you have the field spell on the field face up, there just having 3 yummies is enough for them to boost each other for an OTK. Especially if you have Scrap Fist, it'll double the damage. Even if it's in defense position, it'll still deal damage. And there's really nothing much they can do. If they don't negate your Junk Warrior Extreme, you pretty much just win. Honestly, one of the things I've been thinking about in terms of getting rid of is Nibiru, just because I don't know, I feel like usually he's not that helpful. Like most decks could keep playing through it, so I feel like I just go -1 for no reason. So I am thinking of getting rid of it. However, the problem with this deck is that since the extra deck is so tight, like there's not a single monster I could get rid of, because they're all important in their own way. I don't want to take any of them out. I'm already having to deal with only one Yummy Snatchy. So as you can tell, I'm missing that one dumb spider. What's his name? I'm missing this guy, Link Spider. Oh my god, what a basic name. But anyway, so I'm missing Link Spider because I don't have enough space in the extra deck. And the reason why that's important is because this deck actually suffers through Nibiru. Like, yeah, it's definitely still possible to play through Nibiru, but it's not as easy as it is with, the meta deck, the first deck that I showed you. That one could go into Link Spider, and then you could special summon a Yummy off of that, and then go into Yummy Wave, revive 2 Yummies. You get the point. You could keep comboing. But in this deck, if you get Nibiru'd, you have to hope you have some follow up. Maybe you did your combo without normal summoning, and if you did, you could normal summon like Sangan or even one of your hand traps. That's fine. If you normal summon your hand trap, you could go into Salamangreat, and then from there you could special summon a Yummy from your hand and keep going. If that's the case, that's fine. Also, it's very important that you know that with Sangan, your main target to add to your hand is almost always Scrap Synchron. And the reason why is because if you read Sangan's effect, it says add one monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand, but it cannot activate cards or effect of cards with that name for the rest of the turn. The thing is, this is it very specifically doesn't say it gets negated. No, it specifically says you cannot activate the card. However, since this is a passive effect, you could search for it. And what I mean by that is the first part, where if you synchro summon it, you could treat it as any synchron tuner, and the other passive effect where if you synchro summon using a monster that lists synchron as a tuner, which your extreme does, it lists synchron, it lists junk synchron, and since it does, you could use it from the hand. No, neither of these are effects that you have to activate. They are passive effects that you get for free, just for having him in your hand. Which means that if you search him with Sangan, it will give you the symbol that it's negated, but it's not actually negated. You could actually synchro. You're ideally gonna land with Ancient Fairy Dragon, and then from there find a way to get Scrap Synchron into your hand, either through Sangan or through Ancient Fairy's Dragon's effect. Also, make sure if you're going second and you summon Ancient Fairy Dragon, do not activate the first effect, because if you cannot conduct your battle phase, you cannot OTK with Junk Warrior. But you want to go for the second effect, where you destroy your field spell, and if you do, you gain 1,000 life points. That's whatever. It's not that important. But the important part is you can add one field spell with a different name from the destroy card from your deck to your hand. And why that's important is if you are more than likely going to have Mignon onto the field. You destroy it, you search, and you fetch Starlight Junction. The reason why is because you could tribute a tuner. In this case, you would tribute one of your Yummy Ways. You tribute one of them, or if you haven't normal summoned that, if you have not normal summoned yet, you could also normal summon one of your, well, in this case, Effect Veiler or Ash Blossom. Tribute them with Starlight Junction, and special summon Scrap Synchron from the deck, and then the Scrap Synchron can synchro summon using Ancient Fairy Dragon on the field. And you don't go for, if you're going turn 2, you do not go Borload Savage, you go for Junk Warrior Extreme. Junk Warrior Extreme, you always special summon it to the extra monster zone. He revives all your Yummies. Extreme attacks one of your enemy's monsters, and if he destroys it, he tags out, summons Junk Warrior. He gets the boost from all of them, and OTKs. And in case you haven't picked up on it, yes, you destroy your spell, but you could bring it back with Yummy Surprise. So in this case, you could use a third effect to get rid of your junction and bring back Mignon from the graveyard. And that's it. I'll test them out and show you guys the power of the decks.
use my monster against me? Growing up on the streets, I learned to become very resourceful, using everything to my advantage. And that includes using my opponent's own move against themselves. Let's rev it up!
Okay, pull up, ho. I didn't get to finish.
Get ready, Domino City. I'm coming.
That's the whole deck. Bye bye.